it's Ghost with Combat Sports Supply. Today we're going over the M3 Gustav recoilless rifle. It's a very faithful recreation of the original M3 Gustav made by Sweden. So the Venturi tube on the back of it functions just like the real one. Pull down on the latch, rotate it over, and you can get into the breech of the weapon to reload. So when you get this, make sure to adjust this so that it is tight enough to maintain itself, but not so tight that it stops the arm from deploying properly. It does have the functional sling point attachments and the carry handle in the middle. It also has a shoulder pad to seat it against your shoulder and the bipod attachment point. It has a functional safety on your trigger. And then up here, it has your adjustable iron sights with your flip out front sight. And it should come with the sight block for your optics. So this is your optic mount for it. It is adjustable. To mount the sight block, loosen your lock. This is gonna wiggle, so you're gonna have to try and line it up. Sight block will drop in, relock it so it doesn't pop out on you. And the last outer piece of this would be your cheek pad head pad. Like the real one, they secured it with zip ties, and it is actually pretty squishy. Now that we've gone over the externals, let's go over the shell itself. It will come in 3 pieces, plus this little button. You do not want to lose this button, it will not fire without it. It does like to try and wander off. Next piece would be the rear cap assembly for it. This also includes your firing pin. And the last piece you'll need for it is whatever shell you're using. Today we're using the Titan shell. So this Titan shell is just a very large 40mm grenade shell. It fills through the top. You will have to reset it every time you fire it. You just pull up on this and it will reset itself. It vents around this nozzle. So, it's a very nice shell, but it does use 1/3 of a can of gas. Maybe a gas guzzler, but its performance is awesome and it does put out a 4-foot cloud of gas out of the end of the launcher. Oh! So now that we know what all the pieces are, we need to put it together. First, you're going to take your shell, whichever one it is. It'll slide straight down the middle. Push it in until it seats. Then you're going to take your cap. So when you put the cap on, there's a little line on it. You want to line that up with open. Seat it down. Rotate to safe. So as you just noticed, this does have a safe position and a fire position. For storage, leave it in the safe position until it's loaded and ready to fire. And then you're going to rotate it over to the fire position. Now that you have your loaded shell, find the notch on the bottom. It will line up with the tooth on the bottom of the tube and slide right in. Once it's in, lock it closed. Once you fired your shell, to unload it, as we showed you earlier, pop it open. Now, you can grab it like this and pull it out if you want, or if you're so inclined, it does have the realistic pop-out mechanism for the shell. As for ammo, it's going to come with some of these shells for you. You will fill them with BBs, put them together, and then when you're ready to shoot them, they go straight into the end of the shell.
You're telling me, if I buy the Carl Gustav, it comes with the big black balls?
We tried a number of shells with it. They do fit, and they do fire. And to prove that to you, oh! That shell we just fired is called a VX1. It is a cheaper alternative to a Taginn round. It does not run on CO2, it runs on green gas. It is still rifled and it still fires a round out, and they work really well. The big question here, do Taginn rounds work in it? And they do in fact fit.
This is the Titan shell with the supplied black ball of doom. Loading the supplied Titan shell with the black ball of doom. However, this time we have put some Scotch tape on it to hold it together. A little ballistic test. Let's see what happens. Titan shell with Scotch tape ballistic test. We're going to see what this does against 4 muscle moose. Gustaf launcher with Nerf round and wadding, and using the supplied Taginn shell.
Setting that round up, it's just a piece of foam wrapped around the back of it. Dunk it in and let it expand around the round, and then stuff it all the way down.
VX1 round, rifled round. Out of the Airsoft Gustaf versus vehicle. Taginn pecker round with modified trigger pin. Won't go into the other alley.
Well, as you just saw, you can fire a Taginn round out of one of these. However, it will not fire stock. You'll have to get a 3D printed part, which is the trigger arm, and then install this in place of the original. That 3D printed trigger arm will look something similar to this. You may need to do a little bit of adjustment. You had to file down this and bore out the hole slightly so it would fit properly. But when you get to the main thing, you're going to push out the pin. It'll be a lock pin, so you're going to get it out, remove that, and then your trigger arm slides out. And your new one will slide in. And it's just a matter of making sure the pin is lined up and pinning it in place.
Airsoft Gustaf with Taginn pecker round. The Taginn round shot right through here, all the way through there, kept going and ended up down there. Good times.
Don't be a fool!